Let's talk about how we went from these minis to these minis to these minis in like a year and a half. Descent Journeys in the Dark second edition. This was actually not the first game I painted. In fact, I didn't even paint these minis right here. These guys were painted by my friend Jason and done in the style of Sarastro's series. And if you haven't seen his channel, it's in my featured channels. He is painting through Rising Sun right now. They look good. Go check him out. And it was before I even started painting. He was already painting, and I gave him my box of Descent. Wow, that guy looks really good. And he painted through these heroes. Again, he was watching the Sarastro videos, and so they look, pretty similar to what is going on right there. I think all of these guys, with the exception of, she has one. I think this guy, there wasn't a video at the time. There may even not be one now, but you would be able to tell because Jason's pretty good, and these look great. So he did all of the heroes, and then he also did these ogres. I think there was a video for the ogres at the time, and they're looking pretty good. And then he also did the spiders. So then, as he was getting towards, I think, the ogres and the spiders, that's when I caught up and I started painting minis. And maybe at the time, well, no, I guess it wouldn't have been a mistake because you need minis to paint. But I got all these back, and then I started painting them. And that is where these guys came from. And you'll notice there is a significant difference in quality. I could just take one of these guys and put them up to one of these guys. And these are not the first minis I painted. I showed those in the last video, but this was the next set. And I think it was actually these zombies that I did next. And I guess they're all right. But you could see my rudimentary highlighting and my dry brushing, and I wasn't as great about blocking in colors, and I just needed to kind of get them out there. So we did zombies, then these Barghasts, and I wanted to do kind of like a zombie dog thing, but I think maybe I even forgot to wash. No, I guess I did wash. I don't know, long time ago. The gray is too light. I got caught up in names. This is Wolf Gray, and really I should have gone for something darker. The Master, I was trying to do more red and everything, and I guess that kind of came out all right, but it's pretty sloppy, even in the eyes and everything. And actually, I started the goblins. I only got 2 of these done, and then my Rune Wars, and those, the blocking in the colors on these guys is really bad. This is when my Rune Wars game showed up, and I stopped doing goblins. So that brings us to these guys. Probably at least a year later, my wife and I were talking about games and wanting to play games together again, and she likes the co-op story-driven games. I'm like, well, I have Descent. I can just finish painting them. And these guys back here, like, I was really try-harding with these guys. This was probably a couple days right here, and I was really trying to kind of go the distance on them. And I decided for the rest of it, I'll just speed paint it. If you want to see all of those videos, I'll link them in the card in the upper right-hand corner. Just click on the eye. And so this was me kind of flexing my speed painting muscles. And I would say that these, in my opinion, are fairly comparable to these, if not a little bit better maybe. With the goblins, I didn't do the best job of blocking in all the colors, but I was kind of just getting into the scheme of things. Then we did Splig. I think he came out pretty good. Flesh molders, I'm not as happy with how these guys came out, and I think it was just because the fiddliness of the cloaks, and then I had to brush prime them in white because my white primer was running low, and I did not do a good job of blocking in the colors. There's all kinds of stuff right there. I think these guys, I went a little bit too quick, and I was a little too lazy. I do like the little magic effect. The big guys, though, I'm pretty happy how these guys came out. These guys, they took way less time than the little guys because they're big, and it wasn't hard to block in the colors, and I just did some dry brushing, the Meroids, and then the Shadow Dragons. Did some glazing, learned a lot about that, did some cheap, fast OSL. I think that was kind of the nicest part, and pretty happy with how they came out. And I'm really happy with the elementals. Like, I think of all of the stuff, even of all the stuff I painted, these guys look the best. And again, it took a little bit longer. It's just a lot of dry brushing and just like color choice. And I did use multiple washes on these guys where it was appropriate. And I'm looking forward to getting these guys to the table. All in all, in the grand scheme of things, I think that it's definitely these guys that look the worst. I think probably Jason's dudes came out the best, and my elementals were the best representation of my speed painting stuff, but I think the speed painting stuff came out better than these. I think it's funny that me painting really fast now is better than me try-harding back then, but I guess that's the idea. You just paint a lot of minis. There's like probably 100 plus minis in between when I painted these guys and when I painted these guys, and you know, I think it shows. You paint more minis, you get better. So go and paint more minis and you'll get better.